Alright guys, I finished up that battery change with the Nixon Sentry Chrono, so I figured I would shoot a quick video on it, just sharing it with you guys and show people how to reset the chronograph hand. So if you're clicking on this video just to learn how to reset the chronograph hand on a Nixon chronograph or any Miyota chronograph quartz, stay tuned, I'll do it in a moment. But let's just talk about the size of the watch and then we'll get into some close-ups. We'll take a look at it. This one's used, it's dirty. I tried to clean it up a little bit, but it's still kind of dirty. So you're looking at a 42 millimeter case. You know, that mineral crystal goes all the way to the edge. There's really no bezel, so it's going to have a lot more wrist presence there as far as the dial size. So it's going to look a little bit larger than the 42 millimeter would indicate. Lug to lug is a 50 millimeter. The thickness is 11.7. The lug width is 23. The bracelet tapers down to 20. You have a stamped clasp for micro adjusts with a fold over bit there. So bracelets actually pretty comfortable. It's you know, not like heavily constructed or anything like that, but short enough links you're going to be able to get a good size. Plus you have that micro adjust. So that part's really good. And I don't want to compare this case to like a Citizen case, but that's what it kind of reminds me of. It almost reminds me of the Citizen case size and proportion. Just seems familiar. So, like I said, mineral crystal. There's no lume on this, so I'm not going to do a lume shot. And it's using the Miyota quartz chronograph, the 6S30 movement. I did look that up. If you did need to replace the movement in this, you can find them for just over $25. So, but if you look on eBay, you can probably pick one of these up used in good working condition for probably definitely under 100, somewhere between $50 and $100, depending on how savvy you are. Now there are 11 different colorways of this actual model. This one's, you know, really dark, but they have like gold, they have multiple tones, they have a bunch of different ones. So I can put a link in the description to the Nixon website where I found the watch and the different, you know, models or colorways that they have in it. So if you do a close-up on the dial there, you can see you have three tightly centered subdials there. And then the hands, a little tricky to read, or a lot tricky to read. You have an hour and a minute, and they're skeletonized there, so and they're kind of the same colorish as everything else, so they blend in. So for getting a quick time on this off a glance might be a little tricky. You have the seconds ticking away down there at the lower subdial, and then you have your 24-hour, and then you're going to have your other subdial over here for your chronograph, and then you're going to have your date down here at the 4 o'clock. So you can see the chronograph hand is messed up, right? It's in the wrong spot. You can still start the chronograph, you can stop the chronograph, you can snap it back, but that's where it thinks 0 is. So here's how you fix it. Pop the crown out, like you're going to set the time. Hold this chronograph down. You're going to see the chronograph hand shoot forward. If you hold it down, it's going to fast forward. Once you get close to where you want it to be, let off and just do it a single stage at a time. Once you get to where you want it, which should be at the 12, go ahead and push the crown back in. You're all set. Now, the reason this would get off-centered, there's many different reasons, but it happens. It happens with all different watches. It's not a problem or a fault of Nixon. It's just the inherent nature of the quartz movement that is in this. So it's an easy fix. Don't stress out about it. This does have a screw-down case back and a gasket, so it is 100-meter water resist. So it should be fine for regular everyday use. Anyway, guys, that is my quick take on the Nixon. Let me give you a wrist shot here real quick so you can see what it looks like on my 7 1/4 inch wrist. And then that will conclude this video. Thankfully, my coworker has about the same size wrist as I do. I think it's a really good looking watch. I like that, you know, gunmetal gray type tone to it, and if you catch the light right, you know, the indices and the hands kind of reflect. Like I said, it's gonna be a little tricky to tell the time, but maybe in natural light is a little bit better. But it wears great, feels great, and that's a Nixon for you. So see you on the next vid, guys. Thanks.